I know a lot of people aren't going to like this. However, it needs to be said. And this is nothing new under the sun, family. This is not the first time that you're going to hear what I'm going to say. And you may feel like you agree with it. You may feel like you don't agree with it. However, family, this needs to be said. I replied and responded to a comment on Mr. Myron Golden's page. And what he was saying wasn't wrong or right. However, family, this is the problem that we have with success in leadership of all kinds. And it's this, family. It's that we can think that we have certain biases and those biases apply to everyone else. However, this is what's customary nowadays, is to find your audience. So therefore, you feel more free to say your opinion, right? And what you believe and how you feel about things so that you can gather your audience and so that you can gather like-minded people. Why? So that you can sell to them. So I understand it, the math behind it, the thinking behind it, and the authenticity behind it. And I respect it. However, family, see, this is where alignment with God and alignment with success separates itself. Because this is plain and clear. You cannot judge a book by its cover. You cannot judge an individual whatsoever by how he talks and dress. Right? This is common sense. 2026, we know for a fact that an individual can look the part, talk the part, and be contaminated with sin in his heart. And that's the problem, family. It's this, that we think that success trumps doing the right thing to maintain your soul health. And that's where leadership is failing us. All right? And that's why I'm here as the watchman, to be able to understand and come alongside of these individuals to get them back in order. Because that is a horrible example, family. If I say I don't trust people who don't cuss, how would that sound? Most people are like, what do you mean you don't trust people that don't cuss? All right? However, Mr. Myron Golden said he doesn't trust people that curse. That say cuss words, that use profanity. So, is he wrong or right? Am I wrong or right? This is not about wrong and right, family. This is about whether you're aligned with soul health or aligned with your success. And let me tell you something, family. You do not know a person's heart unless you have your discernment working in your favor. You can't have success working in your favor because you're going to overlook certain things that you should be discerning. And you have to understand that the way that the spirit of arrogance and the spirit of Satan move today is to be able to fool the people on the surface. It's always been this way, family, but it's just evolved over time. So we should be understanding this and be able to understand where it applies in our lives. So I have to understand where I may be biased towards people who don't cuss. Right? I might look at them as, oh, you know, y'all are just trying to look a certain type of way in front of people and you're just trying to act a certain way and talk a certain type of way for people. And that applies to some, but it doesn't apply to all, family. So I can't look like that to everybody who doesn't cuss. I can't say, oh, you don't cuss, you know, I don't fool with you because I don't feel like you're very honest. And at the same time, family, that same type of pattern, that same type of thing applies to individuals who say, I don't trust people who cuss. Right? We have to understand that could be something that would contaminate my mind and my heart. Because there may be somebody along my path that God wants me to work with or deal with or even speak with and fellowship with. But if that individual doesn't use profanity or that individual doesn't look a certain type of way or talk a certain type of way or wear a suit or not wear a suit, I don't engage with him. And then on the same thing, the individual who I don't talk to people who do profanity. I don't even work with them. But God has a line for you to be able to work with this person, not to change them, But you work with that person to understand that it's not all about your biases and what you think. Don't you understand the Pharisee spirit behind us on both ways? This is exactly what the Pharisees had a problem with the Christ. It was the people that he was around. We got to understand this, family. We have to move past this. This is leadership with success secondary to obedience to God. I cannot allow anything in my mind or in my heart to keep me away from doing God's will, whether that person curses or whether they don't curse. That will never tell me whether I need to be obedient to God or not. And we need to really understand this, family, because this is something that we have to pay attention to, not only around us, but in ourselves. Where are you allowing your biases and what you think you like and what you don't like to keep you away from obedience to God? You see, this happens to the best of them. It happened to Solomon, and I'm going to say this so many times because everybody's so quick to praise Solomon for the great things that he did, and I'm not here to take away any of that from you or anybody. There's nothing new under the sun, as he wrote. But understand this, family. Disobedience is right there when success is at its all-time high. When leadership is at its all-time high, when your influence is moving the way that you want it to move, guess what's right there? Disobedience. And we need to understand that because alignment with success is out of order. And it's normal because it takes time to be successful. It takes a certain type of mind frame to be successful. It takes a certain type of grind to be successful. But understanding that, whoa, now I'm at the point where, I've grinded, I'm successful, my leadership is moving, God has allowed me to experience certain type of things, but now I need to intentionally make sure that I am in order so that I can maintain my obedience because I know that in my success is the prime time when Satan is coming to manipulate me. And he's not going to do it with outside influences. He's going to do it with my own influence and my own way of doing things. That's gotten me what? Successful. You see, family, we really have to understand the art of judging, but not throwing the stone. Once you let that stone leave your hand, that's really saying a lot about you in your life, even if you're successful or not. But mainly successful individuals do this. Why? Because they're using the same type of thinking and the same type of patterns and grind that they use to be successful to think that they can transfer that over to being obedient with God. But it does not work that way. They're two different things. And remember, this is not about, wrong and I'm right. This is not that at all. This is about spiritual things. This is about understanding your life more then you want to be able to comment and, and say things about the next person's life and comment on their plays. You have to have your own game tape right there in front of you where you're watching it and you're understanding what you like and what you don't like and where the things that you may like and be comfortable around keep you away from being obedient to God and his will for your life, not your will for your success. Remember, there are two different things, family, and this is where the disconnect comes in because in reality, I do not agree with Mr. Myron Golden by saying that. But at the same time, I must check myself and say, where are you allowing your biases to keep you away from God's will and allowing things to come out of your mouth that might entertain some people and might get you some claps over here. But in reality, what are you really doing? See, Christ already drew the line in the sand. We don't need to draw no lines in no sand nowhere. We need to understand how much we relate to each other, not how much we are different from each other. Those things are obvious. And as leaders, as successful leaders, as influencers, we must understand that first and foremost. We must understand that, of course, I got my opinion. Of course, I got my way of doing things. Of course, I got my audience. But in reality, what I'm going to show, what I'm going to display with my character and leading by example is how to be able to love all people, including myself and including God. All three. Not only the people that I like and that like me back, and not only the people that only agree with me and agree with me back, not only the people that don't cuss, not only the people that cuss. See, these are the ways that we can understand God's will for our life. The more that we sacrifice ourselves daily, the more that we pick up our cross per se and follow the Christ, understanding that pride and arrogance is not the way of the cross, family. It's just not, whether you believe in this or don't. Arrogance and pride is not the way of understanding how to really live this life and learn love and practice love here. Remember, that's the highest goal. That's the key. It's not my intellect. It's not my success. It's not what I think. It's not my goals. It's not how I interpret things. It's how did I display love for God, others, and myself. That's the main goal, family. It's not a Christian. It's not to be a Christian. It's not to be a successful businessman. It is to be a servant who knows how to give love and learn love and understand that there's no good deed here, right, that can cover up sin. Only love covers a multitude of sin. Only love. And this is why the story of the Good Samaritan is so powerful. He made the outsider the hero, not the individuals who were supposed to already be living this and understanding the opportunities that we have on a daily basis to please God by helping others. He brought along the Good Samaritan, the outsider, and had him take no credit. That's the key thing right there, family. I'm going to leave you with that. Understanding no credit. Understanding that the world's going to praise you. The world loves it. But God doesn't give you no credit for being around those and loving those who like you back and have something to give you in return. And you probably heard me say this before, but 14,400 hours is what I have sacrificed doing prison ministry over the last 8 years. And it cost me something, family. But in reality, I was doing that unknowing that God was going to be lining me up with his will for my life to be able to come alongside leaders and help them get back in order. And have the authority to do so. Because it's never been about money. It never is about money. However, money is playing. Success is playing. So guys, and girls, we got to make sure that we understand that, hey, I'm going to get out of order by default just by being around playing this game of life. So therefore, it's not about understanding and trying to deny when I'm out of order. It's understanding when I'm out of order and how to get back into order. And it begins with getting that clarity that you need that to even know that you're out of order, family. So understand that leadership alignment diagnostic, we're able to diagnose where you're out of order. That's the first thing. You have to be able to understand that, because once you understand that, things are going to start clicking. But without that diagnosis, you're not going to know. You're going to continue to listen to other people. You're going to continue to listen to your own brain that's operating in the success mode still. And then you're going to find yourself aligned with your success and not God. Book that free leadership alignment diagnostics where you get on a 30-minute call with myself and we can find out, where you're out of order. We can find out where you need to start. Blessings.